Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Magiste, and today I'm actually going to be going over the top 15 best monsters, or I guess sometimes also I'm going to be covering up archetypes that I think, were the most impactful in 2020, or that will be probably the most played in the future. So I guess there's no specific order, once again, just like the Spell and Trap video that I made yesterday, but I tried my best to kind of still put it in an order of, okay, I think I like this card more, so I'll just, but I probably failed. But before you start, friendly reminder to like and subscribe because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. And yeah, let's jump right into it. Alright, so for the number 15 spot, we actually have the whole Magiste Archetype. I actually think that a lot of the cards are really good. There's the Fire Guy that is pretty much a monster reborn. Yeah, I know, no pictures on the screen again. I know, I don't want to explain myself every single time. I just don't want people to skip on the video and be like, oh, okay, those are the top 15 monsters. I'm not gonna watch anything. But yeah, the Fire Guy is like a monster reborn and also summons from the hand. Pretty much can equip itself with the Link 1 Magistes, which is a searcher for any Magistes monster from your deck to your hand. So this already kind of screams for potential. It's a one card starter, and on top of that, there are other good Magistes cards like Crowley, Aleister Crowley. Yeah, by the way, I actually didn't know about it, but yeah, that is apparently his full name. So Aleister and Crowley, pretty much the same person, which is crazy. It's a really good extender. It can change its attribute. So I had a really cool, like 1.5 card combo where I could make Toad with Bahamut Shark because there is a water starter that searches for Crowley. Crowley can become water. And there is also Cendrillon, which is, yes, my French pronunciation, which can search the Magistes invocation. And that is kind of a trend that we are seeing in the OCG right now, where people, instead of playing like Invoked for the Dragma Shaddoll, they are playing with the Magistes cards because you can fuse using the field, which is Cendrillon, which is a light attribute, which is really good. And then any Shaddoll monster makes Construct, pretty much your one card play, and you are good. So yeah, this is pretty much why I think Magistes is a really good archetype and belongs in the top 15 spot. Now, the number 14 would actually be Phantom Knight of Tier Scale alongside the new Phantom Knight support. I think the new Phantom Knights cards are really good, but the reason why I'm not a big fan is because they do still lose to hand traps really hard. You kind of have to waste your normal summon for a tour guide that just loses to Ash, Veiler, Imperm, and because of that, I think the deck is way too fragile at the moment, but that doesn't mean that the new cards aren't really good. Of course, they're still really good. You can still put up like 7 negates, well, 7 interruptions. You still lose to like one single Regeki or evenly. But yeah, I mean, just if we get more support in the future, which is probably going to be the case, because ever since we had Phantom Knights in, I believe, 2016 or something, whatever, it just kept becoming better and better. So definitely a lot of potential here, like right there. Number 13 would have to be maybe a two-way tie between Race Shaddoll Wendy and El Shaddoll App Cologne. I don't want to say really a tie because maybe it's just the whole new like Shaddoll monsters that, well, I mean the new Shaddoll like support. So even, for the spells and traps, which I did include in my spell and trap video, the Shaddoll monsters are actually really insane. Wendy, definitely the most impactful out of all the main deck Shaddoll monsters. It's a definite 3 of if it is sent from the, well, I mean if it is just sent to the graveyard. You can special summon any Shaddoll monster in your deck face down, so there's no level restrictions. You can just summon like a beast straight up, which is very insane because the flip effect of beast is like overpowered. It's draw 2 and then send a card from your hand to the grave, which is super good because you also trigger the effect of whichever Shaddoll card you are sending, which is nasty. And App Cologne is a card that you can send with like Nadir Servant, which means that a card that has absolutely nothing to do with Shaddolls can literally get your Shaddoll engine started on top of searching other cards. So the synergy is absolutely real, and exactly just like I said at the very beginning of the video, it synergizes quite well with Magistes. And Shaddoll has been good since like literally creation of the deck in 2014. So there's definitely like a lot of reasons to believe that the deck will still be playable like a couple of years going like forward. Number 12 is, I guess I want to say Infernobles, especially Charlemagne. Combined with the ability to pop your own smoke grenade to look at your opponent's hand, make them lose one card. That was complete bullshit. really happy we're done with that, because it was just not enjoyable whatsoever. So I want to thank you, Konami, for actually banning Smoke Grenade. Now, Charlemagne, that doesn't mean that the card is actually garbage. You know, the level 9 Synchro monster, that's the what I'm talking. I know in the TCG the new name is Charles, but the actual name of the Emperor is Charlemagne, in case you were wondering. But yeah, you know, really good cards, of course. The Infernobles, like the cards, their effects are still really good. Renault is actually insane. It can summon itself pretty much for free and either recur a Fire Warrior that is from your graveyard or that is banished, or recycled back like an equip spell. So yeah, just a bunch of really good cards. Unfortunately, they are kind of dead now, but when they were at full power, the deck was definitely in the top 5 best decks for the meta. Number 11 would have to be the Virtual World cards, so especially Lulu and Lao Lao, I think they are by far the best. I feel like if a card like GG, you know, I think that's the level 3 guy, yeah, the level 3 dog, if he never really, like, even if he dies completely, even if is banned for some reason, which wouldn't make sense because it's not that good, the deck would still be playable because nobody really cares too much about like an end phase recursion, but people seriously care about being able to search from your deck to your hand because you really need that early juice in order to be able to play. And Lao Lao is a Monster Reborn and a level 6 tuner, which is crazy. It's so good. So yeah, there's just the combination of so many good effects in Virtual Worlds on top of sending from your deck to the graveyard, which can send King Long, which search other Virtual World monsters, just creates a whole bunch of cohesion in your deck, which allows you to pretty much play a lot of hand traps, and because of that, the deck is definitely meta contender. Number 10 is Eldlich, the Golden Lord, and when I say Eldlich, I kind of want to say, you know, the Eldlich deck, but at the same time, the Eldlich deck exists thanks to the fact that Eldlich, the Golden Lord exists. So yeah, that's pretty much what you can get, like, take from what I just said. And yeah, it's just a really good card. I mean, it has a really good effect in the hand, really good effect in the graveyard, and super easy to summon with Black Awakening, Scarlet, White Fate, and when you have it on your field, your other continuous trap cards get really good effects when they are summoned. Like Conquistador will destroy a face-up card, Aquero will banish a card from either player's graveyard. You can banish your own cards because let's just say using like an Ash on your opponent, and then they go Called by the Grave. You can go Aquero, banish your own Ash, and since it wasn't banished by your opponent's Called by the Grave, your Ash will successfully resolve. So just a few neat tricks that you can do, and also even Guardian. Yo, let's not put you know, put too much disrespect on Guardian. That card's really good, man. You can reduce the attack of any monster your opponent controls to 0 without targeting, so Mechanite Crusadia Avermax will come kind of just lose to this. But I mean, I guess Conquistador could technically destroy it since it doesn't target, but then if they summon it with IP Masquerena, then it's kind of a problem. But don't worry, you have other outs to Mechanite Crusadia Avermax. But yeah, no, Eldlich, the Golden Lord, really good card. Definitely deserves its number 10 spot. Number 9 would be Drytron Ban Alpha. This is the new card in 2020 that allows other really old cards to become really broken out of nowhere, like Cyber Angel Ben 10, Cyber Angel Natasha, Vanity's Ruler. All those cards, they never really had like a really good time. I mean, yeah, no, honestly, a bunch of them, well, Vanity's Fiend had a time to shine, Vanity's Ruler a little less, especially since none of them have the Monarch stats. So Majesty's Fiend at least was searchable in Monarchs, whereas Vanity's Fiend, you kind of have to actually draw it. But yeah, no, just really good cards, and now they're searchable like in 2 seconds. So, you know, we're definitely down with that. You can play like, what, 12 or 15 Bentens? Yeah, no, 3 field spells, 3 Nova, 3 Ban Alpha, 3 Benten, 3 Preparation of Rites. Yeah, that's definitely filthy. So yeah, definitely down for new ways to make rituals better, because before, like, you know, back a few years ago, nobody really cared too much about rituals. They were either like way too broken, like Necros, and I guess Gishki was actually really good, or just complete garbage and nobody really cares about them. So it's not really that the ritual cards were good, it was always that rituals as a deck were good, but this allows you to pretty much play any ritual card you want, and the combination of Megaliths could also, you know, work. Megalith Full is a new card in 2020 technically, and I think it is probably one of the better cards out there. Really insane ritual monster, does so much. Ritual summons from the deck, like, are you crazy? And also like recurs back your Benten after you summon it and becomes level 6. So many plays that you can do with this. I love it so much. Number 8 would have to be the Adamancipator monsters. I guess Researcher was the best because Granite could actually search it, and then you had Needlefiber. Needlefiber was insanity because you could summon O-Lion. So when Adamancipator was at full power, the deck was completely overpowered. Now Block Dragon is banned, so that is no longer the case. Number 7 is probably one of the most impactful cards that we have seen ever since it's released, and it was actually at the very beginning of the year. It was the only event, actually, I think, the only YCS that happened in 2020, if I recall correctly, YCS Las Vegas 3v3, that actually used Magician Souls. That card was all over the place. People were playing it in Lunalight, Spiral, literally everything. If you were playing a combo deck, chances are you were playing Magician Souls. I don't think it was good in Eldlich. I mean, I don't think. I know for a fact that it wasn't good in Eldlich. It was actually completely unplayable. Kree Bandit had a better effect, and Magician Souls was at best a +1, whereas, you know, Kree Bandit was at best at +4. So, yeah, you can kind of do the maths. There's one that is significantly better, and Magician Souls technically would actually require you to use up your normal summon, except if you play the Brick Apprentice Illusion Magician. But in Spiral, you send Master Plan for cost, so, you know, your trap card that revives back Master Plan, which is searchable by Master Plan, becomes like infinitely better. So yeah, definitely really good card. We'll keep seeing play. Number 6 is Accesscode Talker. Now this card is really insane, and the fact that it's a Link 4 that can be made with 2 monsters makes a whole lot of difference, because Boral Sword, actually, even if it is a Link 4, you gotta use at least 3 monsters, so it's kind of harder to summon. And Accesscode, I just feel, completely replaced Boral Sword, so a lot of deck lists right now that can't technically play Boral Sword choose to play Accesscode instead. You can pop multiple cards without targeting, it becomes 5300, and if you summon it using Update Jammer, which is pretty much like a 1-card combo with Debug, you can OTK for 10,600 damage through at least like 3 cards, which is pretty good. So yeah, Accesscode definitely really meta impactful and will once again keep seeing a lot of play. Number 5, I guess, are the new Dragma cards, which technically they are like archetype related, but they are so easily splashable, even if they technically cancel out your ability to summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. But you know, that's the keyword, it's for the rest of the turn. So if you want to do some combo plays from your extra deck, all you have to do is just do all of that first and then use, like, you know, Disciple of Nadir. And then the deck that actually doesn't really use the extra deck, you can play cards like Pot of Extravagance, stuff like that. So in Dinosaurs, I guess I want to say, but I want to say Pure Dinosaur without the, you know, Dragma cards is probably better, but still that doesn't change people from, you know, wanted to splash the Dragma cards in literally every deck they want to, because it's actually that good. Number 4 is a Link to Monster Predaplant Anaconda, but actually you can argue that Dragoon is literally just as Cancer. So Dragoon is a really annoying card. Predaplant Anaconda is also really good, but which one is the biggest problem? Is it Dragoon? Dragoon can still be played in a lot of people's deck with Red Eyes Fusion, which you can search with Red Eyes Insight, I think that's the name. And yeah, you even get to revive back Dragoon after that with the Wyvern, which is kind of annoying. Imagine taking like 10 years to out a Dragoon and then they were like, oh yeah, next turn, yeah, revive back by banishing. Yeah, no, thank you. But yeah, no, just a really annoying card. And Anaconda even gets you like more options. It made other decks better. You can send like Magicalized Fusion, so you can summon Winda, Overload, Cyberload for Cyber Dragons. Those are just like, there are so many possibilities. You can even send like Super Poly, so you can just with 2 monsters that are effect monsters, you can clear like a full board of dark attributes. Absolutely crazy. I love Anaconda, but I hate Dragoon, but still definitely deserves to be in the top 5 best cards of 2020. Number 3 is, I think, a card that it's just a matter of time before it gets banned, and I think the real TCG name is like Divine Arsenal AA-ZEUS Thunder or something like that. I'm just gonna call it Megalodia-ZEUS because that was the original name of the card. But yeah, like I said, this card is obviously unfair. It can be played in every single deck that plays Xyz monsters. As long as your Xyz monster battled in Main Phase 2, you can summon Megalodia on top of it, or you can just use 2 level 12s, but that's really sketch. And yeah, it can send every other card on the field to the graveyard without targeting. Obviously, it's just a huge board wipe. During either player's turn, not once per turn, not once per chain, just by detaching 2 materials, Zodiac can easily get 6 materials on this, so they can use the effect 3 times in one chain, meaning that if you only have 2 negates, which is already good, you still lose out your whole board to one single Zodiac monster. Imagine going going like normal rat, no effect, slap, 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 attack directly with Borbo, main phase 2 Negalogia, effect. Yeah, exactly. That's a huge world of cancer that we are technically living in right now, and we'll probably have to, you know, endure for the next couple of, hopefully not years, but yeah, Negalogia, definitely one of the best cards. Number 2, I guess I want to say this is kind of comparable to how I said Anaconda was probably the problem, but not necessarily, because Dragoon is still cancer. Union Carrier, I want to say, is really annoying. It allowed people to go into the Buster Lock, which made Adamancipator overpowered, Dragon Link overpowered. Just too many decks unfair, because if you could actually make negates or look at your opponent's hand, made them lose card with Smoke Grenade, and then be like, okay, you can't out domain lock, okay, I'm just gonna domain lock right now, and I have negates for other cards, or for your top deck maybe, and because of that, I mean, your deck was just way too overpowered. So Union Carrier could go into the Buster Lock, but it could also go into the Infinite Negate combo, and in Drytron, you can equip Dawn Knight, which when it's sent to the graveyard, because Union Carrier will have 1000 attack and it's a machine, so you can ritual summon for low attack monsters from your graveyard, you're going to be able to foolish your deck for a level, a light monster, and you know, all the Drytrons are light machines, so because of that, you get a free foolish, you can start using the effect of your other Drytrons and get so many pluses. So Union Carrier is really, really good. Even without Buster Lock or Infinite Negates, it's still an extremely good card. And in the number 1 spot, it's once again another two-way tie between Needlefiber and Linkross. I just feel like they were kind of similar, identical, maybe borderline. They just, if a deck plays Linkross, chances are it plays Needlefiber and vice versa, except I guess Altergeist with Pokuri, which I don't think even exists yet. But yeah, pretty much the one deck that uses like Linkross without Needlefiber, because you transform your Hextech into Linkross. Yeah, they're pretty much the same power level, and they were really, really annoying. And Linkross is now banned, but Needlefiber is not banned. But it was so meta impactful and just has such a huge impact on further card design that because of that, a lot of tuners in the game got banned, like Glow Up Bulb, Jet Synchron, O-Lion, and even then, even if you ban Needlefiber, O-Lion is still going to be good because of Oradon, which is an honorable mention technically. I just didn't want to have like 10 billion dual overload like Link monsters in my in my video. That would have been boring. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. If you guys have any comments or feedback or whatever, definitely let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.